Hi, I'm Armand Diaz, and today's integral astroblog is about Saturn in Libra. Saturn has been in Libra from 2009, and it's going to stay in Libra until later this year, 2012. And Saturn is one of those planets that pulls our attention towards whatever issues are signified by a sign. And in the case of Libra, let's just say relationship. So Saturn in Libra has been a time of looking at and thinking about and getting serious about the issue of relationship. As far as that goes, the most obvious issue is that of gay marriage. It's the flagship issue. Although it affects relatively few people, it's an issue that people care about a great deal on either side of the issue, and that's a good sign that it's a Saturnian issue. People care about it, even if it doesn't affect them directly, which of course is appropriate, but it's a sign that it's a flagship issue. But what Saturn in Libra is really doing is saying to all of us, well, what really matters to you in relationship? What do you really care about in relationship? And what are you willing to pay as the price for relationship? So we're redefining relationship in a way that we really haven't done since the late 1970s. The 70s were a time when Saturn and Uranus and Pluto all went through Libra, and there was a lot of shakeup in the area of relationship and a lot of changes. And now Saturn is coming back 30 years later and saying, which of these changes do we keep and which go? And what things didn't change and should have changed? Saturn's a serious planet. I'm wearing gray. The Saturn in Libra energy is one which makes us think, what do we care about in relationship? How can we structure our relationships so that they work for us? And a lot of the ideas that we've had about relationships and how they have to be are kind of getting tossed at this time. We're starting to recognize that maybe some of our ideals and ideas and some of those formalities of relationship aren't really working all that well for us at this point in time. Now, Saturn is opposed by Uranus and Aries at this time. And Uranus and Aries is saying, do your own thing. And Saturn in Libra says, well, but what about relationship? Other people matter too, and I don't want to be alone. Saturn has that fear type of thing that comes in sometimes. But Uranus and Aries says, no, look, I got to be me. I got to do what's right for me. I've got to have that sort of creative selfishness, or sometimes just plain selfishness, to stand up for myself and do what's important to me. And Saturn says, but that's going to cost in terms of relationship. At the same time, Pluto is in Capricorn saying, we really got to stick to tradition. Although he's also saying, don't stick to tradition. So each of these guys is sort of playing the both sides of the story. It's not that one planet is saying that, you should be this way and the other one is saying you should be that way. Rather, all of the planets, Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto, are all kind of saying both sides of the story. And they'll have different folks grabbing on to different sides of the story and pushing extra hard. And the real change comes about not because one side is right and the other side is wrong, but because all the sides are kind of dynamically engaged with each other. So how does it play out? Well, relationship is still important to people, and that's not going to change, but the way we approach relationship is going to change. The way we prioritize relationship is going to change, and I think that's the biggest thing that you can keep in mind over the next few years. Relationship is still important, other people are still important, but it's not going to be the most important thing in people's lives. I think that fulfilling your own personal potential, and in some senses, with all of the changes that Pluto and Uranus are bringing about that don't have to do with relationship, we're going to see that relationship and just being with somebody and having a great partnership and sort of locking in you and me against the world isn't really something that's going to work for us anymore, because we really can't put all that much priority onto it anymore. So relationship still matters, but this time of Saturn in Libra, and Saturn is going to be leaving Libra late in 2012, this is a great time for you to think, what really does matter to me in relationship? What form could my relationship take that would make me happy? Not what have I always thought the perfect relationship is, not what do I think relationship should be like, not what was my parents' relationship like, but rather what do I really need from relationship and how can I get that rather than I gotta have what I think I want. At the end of the day, I think we're going to find out what it is we really do want, and that's the direction that we want to go in. But holding on to those traditions and holding on to those ideas that we maybe picked up watching TV as kids, that this is the way a relationship should be and this is the way it goes, that's likely not going to work too well. So, Saturn and Libra, we think a lot about relationships. But Uranus and Aries, Pluto and Capricorn, we're thinking about a lot of other things too, and it's hard to focus just on relationship.